Welcome, my friends, at Anchor Wisdoms for Entrepreneurs. We're going to talk about another episode here, another principle. Principle today is act like an investor and not like a parent. Now, when you think about this, acting like an investor and not like a parent, I could see how this could bring up some anxieties. The visual, of course, is a little intense, especially when you think about a child. You know, you're like, the imagery probably appears cold and callous. And when you think of parenthood, you think of feelings like love and care and concern, all these good and virtuous attributes. And when you contrast that, and you're thinking about investorship, you're thinking probably having visions of the mafia or whatever. It's nothing personal. It's just business. Okay. Now the concept really isn't that stark. It's not intended to attribute to emotions of uncaring or things like that. It's designed to create a contrast in your mind between how you view attachments, how you view love and energy and passion. I had some friends, for example, in the past that have been investors, and they've gone in and created accounts and got into things like Forex trading. Of course, you know that currency investing can be really volatile. And my friends had described similar instances where they do really good for a while when they're operating based on principle. And then I remember one day one of my friends called me. He goes, "Ron, guess what?" He goes, "I lost all my money." I said, "How'd you do that?" And he goes, I fell asleep and he missed his warning call, things like that. And he built his account up again, and then overnight he lost it all again. And I go, what happened? He goes, I forgot to set the stopgap. So a little feature in the thing that was controlling his sales. And then he said, he described to me one time, one of my friends, he said, I don't know if I have the emotional makeup to be an investor. It was because I get too attached to the loss. When I start to lose, I start to fight to regain the loss. And of course, in the investment world, that can be tragic. That can continue, right? You're just like, no, just get it. I'll get it on the rebound, right? And instead of cutting losses and minimizing the loss. Now, if you think about these examples in business, when I did a lot of business consultancy and consulting and things like that with new entrepreneurs, I remember that a lot of times people would feel like they were bringing their baby to the table. And they made decisions based on those emotions, that they were fully committed in love and heart and passion to their idea. And oftentimes that would translate into things like their brand names and their websites and particular looks and colors. And all of these things may or may not have been contrary to the way that things naturally sell or the way that the market desired to purchase the product, or if it was something that they even need. But it's my calling, it's my feeling. I've invested so heavily into this idea. I'd run into consulting situations where people weren't even willing to adjust a brand because they felt so connected to a particular name or something like that. Yet for the customer base or for the market, it'd go right over their head. They didn't get the relationship or the connection because the passion or the heart of it didn't necessarily connect correctly with the marketplace. I remember one of my other friends had an extraordinarily successful business. Went to the top. Sold his company for like $200 million. And I was talking to him one time, and we were talking about this idea of passion and, you know, connection, what you love doing and all that stuff. And he said, Ron, I think my business was successful because I hated it. And I said, what? What do you mean? He goes, yeah, I hated it. I didn't like it at all. And he said, because of that, I tended to focus on only the things that mattered about it. In other words, he was extremely objective in his thinking and decision making. Now, if you think about it, if you're filled with love and heart and commitment and passion for your thing, if you're filled with that, of course, you'll make unreasonable choices. Right? Your logic go out the window because you become a subjective thinker. You know, if you think about it, I always laugh when I watch some of these online, some of these movies and shows that come out, you know, where they'll pit somebody to do an unreasonable thing over a you know, a love interest, right? I always kind of laugh sometimes. I mean, not because it isn't noble to be committed to your love and your passion, right? It's not because that isn't noble, but oftentimes I snicker in these shows because the contrast is like global salvation, right? Like the world's at threat, like hundreds and millions of people are going to die, but the evil entity, the evil person gets them over a barrel because they've threatened a single love interest type of thing, and of course the person throws all logic out the door. And I got it right. It's like, really, dude? You're gonna eliminate the world, you know, for one single point of passion. But the illustration there is powerful because what it's communicating is the same type of principle that can be very detrimental in business and in your venturing and in your decision makings. And, you know, it's good. And I don't want to confuse you in terms of passion not being important. Of course, these things all have purpose and place. It's great to enjoy what you do. This is the idea between objective and subjective thinking and decision making. So that's the anchor wisdom. Act like an investor and not like a parent. And so anyway, I hope you contemplate that, how this works in your life. Also, you know, I'm very subjective when it comes to my business entities. I do have passion about a lot of things. I've had to curtail some of those passions because I could tell that the passions weren't necessarily leading to the fulfillment of the real and true goal. Sometimes I might be overly married to a specific concept, for example, specific way of doing things, and not find myself in positions periodically where I'm not willing to let go of that because I have so much passion about it or whatever. But it's not, my objective thinker is coming back and kind of lying it out a little bit and going, okay, well, that's not really reasonable. Nobody really buys that. And so in the end, you're not really moving towards your objective. And so these have all become really important points. The way that I do entrepreneurship, the way I think about business entities, the way I think about projects. I try to remove myself from the project and the definition of the project itself, and I try to forward myself to the objective. What is the objective, the purpose, the being of the business entity? Where is it heading? What's it doing? What's its impact? How's it affecting me personally? Okay, so all these things are considerations in the objective view, or the overall object or objective of the business, the goal, the purpose, the vision, the mission. Sometimes it has very little to do with the pieces. Okay? All right, act like an investor, not like a parent. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.